You thought you were doing everything right. You cleaned your fridge weekly, you labeled your leftovers. You avoided the obvious dangers, raw meat, expired milk. But then came the day your neighbor, Mrs. Ellen, 74 years old, sharp as a tack full of life, ended up in the hospital. It wasn't from a fall, not from diabetes, not even her heart. It was a simple mistake. She ate a food she thought was safe, one she had placed in the fridge like always, and it turned against her. 3 days later, she was being treated for listeria. And here's the chilling part: 1 in 5 seniors who get listeria never recover. That's a stat straight from the CDC. You see, as we age, the rules change. Your immune system weakens, your digestion slows, and even foods that seem harmless can become silent threats when stored the wrong way. That's why today's message matters more than ever. You're about to discover 6 foods you've likely eaten this week. 3 of them, never put them in the fridge again. The other 3 absolutely must stay cold or they could harm your brain, your heart, even your bones. And the first food on the list? It's so common you might have it in your kitchen right now. You probably eat it every day. So why is it a hidden danger for seniors? Because seniors deserve better health, not surprises from their own kitchen. You've worked too hard for too long to be taken down by a spoonful of something preventable. So stay with me. This short video could protect your health, your dignity, and even your independence. Let's begin with the foods you should never refrigerate. And trust me, the first one will truly surprise you. Let's talk about something sitting quietly in your kitchen. A jar, creamy or crunchy familiar. Peanut butter. You've been told it's healthy, and that's mostly true. It's rich in protein, fiber, and even healthy fats. But here's something no one told you. If you're storing it in the fridge, you may be harming your heart and brain more than helping. When peanut butter is refrigerated, the oils inside it harden. You've probably noticed it, the way it becomes thick, stiff, and harder to spread. But what you don't see is what's happening inside your body. According to a study from the Mayo Clinic, older adults who consume healthy, unsaturated fats, like those in peanut butter, have better memory and heart function. But here's the catch: those benefits depend on those oils staying in their natural state. When they solidify in the fridge and go rancid faster due to condensation and temperature fluctuation, you lose those heart-boosting powers. Worse, refrigerating peanut butter may encourage oxidation, a process that damages the very nutrients your brain needs. Think about that. A simple habit could be dulling your sharpness over time. You deserve better than that. So what should you do instead? Keep your peanut butter in a cool, dark pantry. No sunlight, no heat, just a calm, dry place. 65F 18C is ideal. And here's another tip most people don't know. If your peanut butter is natural and separates easily, stir it well when you open it. Then store it upside down with the lid tightly closed. This keeps the oils evenly distributed and protects their delicate structure. Remember, your heart is still beating strong. Your mind is still full of memories, stories, ideas. Don't let poor storage steal your strength. Just 2 tablespoons of peanut butter a day can provide up to 8 grams of protein and over 2 grams of fiber, both crucial for aging well. But only if you treat it with care. Peanut butter is a gift, not a gamble. You've come too far to let one cold mistake rob you of warm years ahead. So take that jar out of the fridge. Let it breathe. Let it nourish you the way it was meant to. And as you do, get ready, because the next food on our list, it's one that seems fresh, but may be growing something far more dangerous inside. Section 2, onions. You pick up an onion from the fridge. Its skin looks a little soft. There's a strange smell, maybe even a tiny green fuzz. You shrug and chop it anyway. After all, what harm could a little onion do? Here's the truth for seniors: improperly stored onions can be a hidden health risk, especially when kept in the refrigerator. When cold, humid air surrounds a whole onion, it begins to break down faster. Moisture seeps in, mold takes root, and bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella can quietly begin to grow, especially if the onion was already bruised or not dry when stored. A study from Tufts University found that food stored in the wrong humidity can increase bacterial contamination risk by up to 40% in just a few days. For younger people, that might just mean an upset stomach. But for you, it could mean days in bed, or worse, a trip to the ER. Because let's be honest, as we get older, our immune system doesn't bounce back like it used to. One small infection can spiral into fatigue, dehydration, or even heart strain. And onions, especially when sliced and chilled, can become a breeding ground for danger. So what should you do? Store whole onions in a mesh bag basket or open paper bag in a cool, dark cabinet. Never store them next to potatoes. The gases they release will spoil each other. And if you chop an onion and don't use it all, wrap it tightly and store in a sealed container, not loosely in a bowl. Want to get the most out of your onions? Try roasting them with olive oil, turmeric, and rosemary, a heart-healthy combo that's also anti-inflammatory. It's not about fear. It's about knowledge and giving your body the care it deserves. Seniors deserve better health. Section 3, bananas. Now let's talk about something you might eat every morning. A banana. Soft, sweet, comforting. But if you've been storing your bananas in the fridge, especially before they ripen, you may be losing the very nutrients that make them so powerful for aging minds. You see, bananas are rich in vitamin B6, potassium, and dopamine, all essential for brain function and mood stability. But when you refrigerate them too early, the cold damages the enzyme activity inside the fruit, halting ripening and degrading these nutrients. According to a 2022 report from the Harvard School of Public Health, older adults who consume fruits rich in B6 and dopamine are less likely to experience age-related memory loss and mild cognitive decline. That's right. A ripe banana could help keep your memory sharper if it's stored the right way. And here's what most people don't realize. The peel might go brown in the fridge, but that doesn't mean the inside is fine. Often it's less sweet, less nutritious, and more prone to mold once peeled. So how can you enjoy bananas safely? Let them ripen on the counter first. Once they're spotty yellow and soft to the touch, you can freeze them if needed. Just peel and store in a freezer-safe bag. And don't throw away those overripe bananas. Here's a simple recipe for you. Banana memory muffins. Mash 2 ripe bananas mixed with 1 egg, a handful of oats, cinnamon, and a dash of honey. Bake at 350 F for 20 minutes. They're soft, easy to chew, and full of brain-loving nutrients. You deserve more than just convenience. You deserve nutrition that protects your independence. So next time you pick up a banana, remember, it's not just fruit, it's fuel for your mind. Section 2, onions, a humble food, a hidden hazard. You reach into your fridge and pull out an onion. The skin feels damp. There's a strange, sour smell that wasn't there before. You think it's just an onion. What harm can it do? But for seniors like you, that onion can quietly carry a very real threat. When onions are stored in the refrigerator, especially whole and unpeeled, they absorb moisture quickly. The cold, humid air softens the layers and invites mold spores and bacteria like Salmonella and Listeria to take hold long before you notice anything on the surface. According to the Journal of Food Protection, onions stored improperly were among the top 5 vegetables most susceptible to fungal contamination in older adults' households. And here's why that matters. Fungal spores and bacteria don't just affect your gut. They can inflame joints, trigger respiratory issues, and even worsen chronic conditions like arthritis or COPD, which are already more common with age. You might not connect a persistent cough or stomach upset to last week's sandwich topping, but the body remembers. So how do you protect yourself? Do this instead. Store whole onions outside the fridge in a well-ventilated basket or mesh bag away from direct sunlight. Keep them away from potatoes. The gases they release accelerate each other's spoilage. Once chopped, store them in a sealed glass container, not plastic, and use within 1 to 2 days. Want to enjoy onions without worry? Saute them slowly in olive oil and thyme. They become naturally sweet and easier to digest. Add them to lentil soups or bone broth for added immunity. Roast them in the oven until golden, a dish that brings both flavor and peace of mind. Because aging should come with wisdom, not unexpected illness. And seniors deserve better health, even from something as simple as an onion. Section 3, bananas. The brain food that can backfire. There's something comforting about a banana. It's soft, easy to peel, sweet, almost nostalgic. But if you're storing them in the fridge, especially while they're still green or yellow, you may be unknowingly stripping away the very nutrients that protect your aging brain. Bananas are rich in vitamin B6, potassium, and dopamine precursors, all vital for brain health, stable mood, and strong memory. But cold temperatures interrupt ripening, shut down enzyme activity, and destroy up to 40% of the banana's antioxidant compounds, according to research published by the University of California, Davis. That means less support for your neurons and more vulnerability to memory, fog, irritability, and even fatigue. Have you been forgetting things more often lately? Names keys where you left your glasses. You're not alone. 1 in 9 seniors over 65 reports frequent memory loss. But the solution doesn't always come in a bottle. Sometimes it's in your fruit bowl, if handled right. Here's what to do. Ripen your bananas at room temperature. Once they're fully yellow and lightly speckled, they're at their nutritional peak. Don't rush them into the fridge. Only freeze peeled bananas if they're overripe and you won't eat them in time. And yes, brown spots are a good thing. They signal increased levels of TNF-alpha, a compound that fights abnormal cells and may even support the immune system. Need a gentle way to enjoy ripe bananas? Try this easy brain-boosting recipe. Try these delicious golden banana brain cups, a soft and chewy treat that's as good for your brain as it is for your taste buds. Simply mash 1 ripe banana and mix it with 1 egg, 1 or 4 cups of oats, 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed, and a pinch of cinnamon. For an extra boost, you can add crushed walnuts or dark chocolate chips. Pour the mixture into muffin tins and bake at 350 175 C for 18 to 20 minutes. These brain-boosting cups are rich in vitamin B6, omega-3s, and antioxidants, perfect for a heart-healthy snack or a quick breakfast. It's not just about eating right, it's about storing right, thinking ahead, and loving your future self a little more with every choice. Because 5 minutes of awareness can save you 5 days of sickness. And you're worth far more than that. Seniors deserve better health. Not guesses, not regrets, just real nourishing wisdom. Section 1. Cooked meats and leftovers where warm memories can turn cold. You cooked a hearty dinner, chicken stew, soft carrots, and a little brown rice. You sat at the table with someone you love. You laughed, you felt full, safe home. Later that night, you left the pot on the stove thinking, I'll put it away in the morning. But what's safe for your memories isn't always safe for your body. The USDA warns that leaving cooked food at room temperature for more than 2 hours creates the perfect environment for bacteria, like Clostridium perfringens, one of the most common causes of foodborne illness in older adults. In fact, 1 in 6 seniors who experience food poisoning end up in the hospital, not because the food smelled bad, but because bacteria don't always leave clues. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold, 82. He felt tired for a week. No fever, no major pain, just weak. His daughter thought it was his heart. Turns out it was leftover turkey he'd reheated 3 times over 4 days. Never hot enough, never stored cold enough. No one blamed him. He was careful, just not informed. That's why this matters. Here's how to stay safe with your food. Always refrigerate leftovers within 2 hours of cooking or within 1 hour if the room temperature is above 90 F, 32 C. Use shallow containers to store food so it cools down quickly and evenly. Make sure your refrigerator is set to 40 F, 4 C or lower to keep harmful bacteria from growing. And when it's time to reheat, ensure the food reaches an internal temperature of 167, 74 C, hot enough that you can see steam rising. Don't just rely on sight or smell. Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli don't always announce themselves. They just wait for a warm place to grow. Cooked food is a gift to your future self as long as it's stored with care. Because seniors deserve better health, not hospital beds. Section 2. Dairy, the silent partner in your bones' future. Let's be honest, you've probably heard this since childhood. Drink your milk, it's good for your bones. But as you age, dairy becomes less of a childhood habit and more of a daily shield. Milk, yogurt, and cheese are among the richest sources of calcium and vitamin D, the 2 cornerstones of bone health. But here's the truth. Many don't know if dairy isn't stored properly, it can become dangerous without ever looking or smelling spoiled. Listeria monocytogenes, a bacteria found in unpasteurized or improperly stored dairy, grows even in the cold, and it can cause serious infections in seniors with weakened immune systems. The Mayo Clinic reports that Listeria is 20 times more likely to cause hospitalization or death in people over 65. That's not to scare you, it's to protect you. Because milk doesn't always curdle when it turns. Yogurt may still taste sweet, and cheese, that soft brie in your fridge, may carry more than flavor. Here's how to stay safe while enjoying the nutrients your body truly needs. Buy pasteurized dairy only. Check the label. Keep milk and yogurt on the bottom shelf of the fridge, not in the door where temps fluctuate. Return dairy to the fridge immediately after serving. Don't leave it on the counter during meals. Smell isn't enough. Check expiration dates and discard if open for more than 5 to 7 days, even if it looks okay. And if milk upsets your stomach, try lactose-free milk, almond milk fortified with calcium and vitamin D, or kefir, a fermented dairy drink that supports digestion. Just 1 cup of kefir contains up to 300 milliliters of calcium and 10 strains of probiotics, a powerhouse for both bones and gut health. Because it's not just about drinking milk. It's about choosing dairy that supports your independence, balance, and strength. You deserve strong bones that carry you forward, not brittle ones that hold you back. And seniors deserve better health, 1 spoonful, 1 sip at a time. Section 3, leafy greens, a garden for your brain. They look so innocent. A handful of spinach, a bed of lettuce, maybe some kale in your soup. But did you know your leafy greens could be the most powerful brain food in your kitchen or the most fragile? A study from Rush University Medical Center found that seniors who ate 1 serving of leafy greens per day had brains that function 11 years younger than those who didn't. That's not a typo, 11 years. Greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are rich in folate, lutein, vitamin K, and antioxidants, nutrients that protect your brain from cognitive decline and support memory retention. But there's a catch. Once harvested leafy greens begin to break down within hours, if not kept cold. Refrigeration slows that process, but not all fridges are equal and improper. Storage can lead to bacterial growth, especially when leaves are moist and sealed in plastic. Here's how to keep your greens safe and brain boosting. To keep leafy greens fresh and nutritious, store them in the crisper drawer of your refrigerator, ideally wrapped in paper towels inside a perforated plastic bag or container. Avoid washing them until you're ready to eat. Excess moisture can speed up spoilage. For the best nutritional value, use your greens within 3 to 5 days. And remember, if they smell sour, feel slimy, or develop dark spots, it's time to toss them. But here's the good news, greens don't have to be boring. Try this Easy Brain Boost Green Smoothie Blend. 1 handful of spinach, 1 shear to 1-2, a ripe banana, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 2 cup of calcium and vitamin D, fortified almond milk, and 1 teaspoon of chia seeds. It's a refreshing, nutrient-packed boost for your brain and body, all in 1 glass. Or saute chopped kale with garlic and olive oil. Finish with a splash of lemon. Pair with a soft boiled egg for added B12 and protein. Because brain health isn't just about puzzles and games. It's about nutrition that nourishes your neurons. And it starts with how you store what you eat. You've lived a life full of stories. Let's protect the part of you that holds them all. Because seniors deserve better health. Not confusion, not forgetfulness. Just strength, stability, and clarity, 1 leaf at a time. You've made it this far, and maybe now the way you see your kitchen has shifted, even if just a little. Remember Mrs. Ellen, the woman who landed in the hospital over something as seemingly harmless as refrigerated peanut butter. Well, here's the ending you didn't hear earlier. She recovered completely, not just because of the care she received, but because she made herself a promise. She vowed never to treat food safety as an afterthought again. Today, her daughter says, "Mom's fridge has more labels than a library. She's organized, she's proud. And best of all, she hasn't been sick since." That can be your story too. Because better health for seniors begins with something as simple and powerful as how you store your food. Here's how you can take action today. The Safety Zone Fridge System. Organize your fridge into 4 simple zones to protect your health and peace of mind. Top shelf, ready-to-eat zone. Yogurt, cheese, chilled peanut butter, hummus. No cook, clean items, stay up high, safe from drips and contamination. Middle shelf, leftover life zone. Store leftovers in clear sealed containers with labels and dates. Rule of thumb, eat within 3 to 4 days. Bottom shelf, raw danger zone. Raw meats belong here always in leak-proof containers. Why? Because gravity pulls drips downward. Keep other foods safe by storing raw meat low. Crisper drawers, green, power zone. 1 drawer for fruits, 1 for leafy greens. Wrap greens in paper towels. Never store produce near raw meat. Printable safety checklist. Stick this on your fridge. Check it weekly. Share it with friends. Fridge temperature, 40°F, 4°C or lower. Leftovers refrigerated within 2 hours. Leftovers consumed within 4 days. Milk and yogurt stored on middle or bottom shelf, never the door. Whole onions and bananas kept outside the fridge. Leafy greens wrapped and used within 5 days. It doesn't take much, just a few changes. But those small actions could protect your health, your independence, and even your life. Because in the end, your fridge isn't just a place for food. It's a front line in the fight for better aging. Would you like a printable version of this checklist?